What's up, guys? Kevin here to bring you a new video today. For today's Horror October, I'm going to be talking about a film that I watched recently called Rosemary's Baby, which, in my opinion, is honestly not that good. Um, for my opinion of it, at least, I did not like it really at all. Um, yeah, and this is thought to be a horror movie, but it really, really, really does not feel like a horror movie. To me, Parasite feels more like a horror movie than this, and like any other film I've watched so far in this series feels more like a horror movie than this. Um, it is older for its time, older movie that was made. So like there's less horror elements in it, but still at the same time, like there's really not much there that makes it a horror movie, and it's just kind of dull for me. Um, the movie spends a lot of time like developing the relationship between this girl and this guy. His name is Guy, funny enough, and you have Rosemary. And eventually, there's rumors to there was like rumors that there was like satanic stuff going on in this new place they were living in, and this person mysteriously commits suicide that they met. They never bothered to explain that actually. So for a while, the story just felt kind of irrelevant. And then randomly out of nowhere, the guy was like, "Let's have a baby." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So when? And he's like, "Okay, right now." And then he gives her this moose, something, some sort of like chocolate dessert thing that drugs her and puts her to sleep. And it was a setup so that Satan could impregnate her, and then she would have Satan's baby. And she just dreamed that it had happened, and she kind of brushed it off. But like, it was so obvious that like, obviously like, you could tell like she was impregnated by something that you know was like not just guy, and like the thing impregnating her was not some ordinary person. Like it had like claws and like almost like a weird face and like weird body shape. Like you could tell it wasn't human that was impregnating her. And then like for the rest of the movie, like for the last like 3 quarters of the movie, she's just like pregnant and suspicious that something weird's going on. And I guess it's a little like suspenseful because like you wonder like what's really going on, and like they're hiding stuff because like they're obviously hiding something, and you wonder like what's really going on, but at the same time like that it's the baby's not going to be normal, and that the baby is Satan's child, and you kind of know what to expect, and it's just very predictable. There's no like surprise, with like how she gives birth. The birth happens just fine, and the baby's fine, and you don't even get to see the baby, which is kind of like shitty. And like, yeah, nothing interesting happens. She just stares at the baby as she's in shock at the fact that the father is Satan and not Guy. But like, bruh, we knew that all along. That dream you had didn't just mean nothing, because she said she dreamed that she was raped, but obviously that meant a lot more than she thought it thought it meant. But like, and then like she didn't think anything of the fact that like, she didn't have sex with the guy, and like, you know, um, and she was pregnant all of a sudden because like this guy literally, well, he didn't rape her, but the devil did. Um, and she didn't begin to think like, oh, like what if I was actually raped in my sleep, and that's why I'm having this kid. Like she didn't suspect that. She was just like, oh, I'm pregnant with my husband's baby. It's all good. We're gonna be happy together. This baby's gonna be great. And then she starts to read up on like witchcraft and like gets all suspicious about things, and then you know, basically everyone that she's around is like a Satan worshiper, so they're all trying to like shoot down her beliefs that like something is wrong. Um, so she spends a lot of time like, trying to rebel against them because they're trying to basically ease any sort of suspicion that she has, so that they can still have the child, which they're successful at, and she doesn't do anything to really stop them per se, and um, it's like it's kind of like leading up to like you feel like it should have led up to something, but it doesn't really translate into anything. I feel like because she just has the kid, and it's in like a black like crib with a upside down cross, so it's literally the Antichrist, and then like that's it, and the people just proclaim, "This is Satan's child. You are the mother." And she's like upset, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. So you're like, okay, it would have been like maybe a little bit more interesting if she like killed the child, or you know, not that the child should die like that, but like it was the Antichrist, so I don't know, but like, or just like killed someone over it, or killed her husband over it, or you know, I don't even know, did something. Like she didn't do anything about it. She just stared at the child. So it's like, okay, cool. And like one other funny thing to note is like, Roman Polanski was charged with statutory rape um, years after this movie came out. But it's just kind of interesting coincidence because this movie is about this girl getting raped and impregnated. So like, okay, Roman Polanski, you like thinking about rape, huh? You like that subject, huh? Okay. But anyways, um, I really don't have much else to say about this movie. It's just very dull and just boring. I just didn't like it. I know that sounds like really like um, plebeian, or like you know whatever you want to call it. Just not like in tune with film or whatever. Say what you want, but like it's just I just did not find any enjoyment out of it. Um, and and that's not just because it wasn't didn't feel like a horror movie. It just didn't didn't feel that enjoyable in general. Um, but yeah, either way, um, just not that enjoyable. I don't know. And like if their ending had like more of like a payoff to it, I would have like been inclined to give it somewhat of a higher rating. But even then, I probably wouldn't have given it that high of a rating. But either way, um, I didn't really like this movie. Um, I give it a I give it a 2.9 out of 10. Yeah, yeah, I didn't like this movie. The score was actually good. I will say the score kind of did keep me in the movie a little bit. Because the score was the one thing that was trying to convince you that it was a horror movie. But that's one of the few things that it had going for it. And like, yeah, and it kind of like, I guess it kind of has an interesting theme to it with like, you know, um, women standing up for themselves and their kid, and you know having the power to like speak out about something they care about, like their child, or wanting to take the lead on something, or take charge in the decision they make for their child, because she really wanted to ensure that the child had a good life, and she felt like she was being controlled by all these people, which she kind of was. So yeah, I guess that's kind of the theme to it, but yeah, I still didn't like it that much. But yeah, sorry guys, if sorry to people who did like this movie. But yeah, either way, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.